Okay, ladies, so today I am going to make some comfort food, which is a beef stew, because that's what I feel like having tonight. So I'm going to show you some of the items that I'm going to put inside of my beef stew. I have some beef stew meat right here. This is beef stew meat as well. And these chunks are really big, but after I cook them, I'm going to cut them up into smaller pieces so my baby could eat them. I got a big old bag of mixed vegetables. It's just carrots, lima beans, corn, green beans, and peas. I have some petite cut Del Monte tomatoes, garlic, and olive oil. I have some kale, which is kind of like a green, but it's not like a green. It doesn't taste like a green to me, but this is very good and healthy. I have a small head of cabbage that I'm going to put in there. I have a jalapeno, and I am getting kind of lazy. I didn't feel like chopping no onions, so I got this mix right here. It has celery and onions inside of it. And I also got a bag of chopped green peppers. And I have some tomato paste to thicken it up. I never used these before, but maybe I will try one packet. But usually my beef stew just comes out really good with just tomato sauce. So maybe I'll try just one packet to see how it tastes. And the seasonings I'm going to use are these bouillon cubes. I'm going to use 2 of these to make the water beef broth instead of just plain water. I have some Worcestershire sauce right here. The best Leanne Perrins Worcestershire sauce. Seasoning salt, of course, Lawry's. Garlic salt, of course, Lawry's. Black pepper. Garlic, granulated onion, and granulated garlic. And I'm also going to put some minced garlic in there as well. So you girls do be burning on the stove, but I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of what I do in the kitchen. And tomorrow I am cooking some chili, a quick chili. I already got my products right here, and I will also film that. So let's get started. Okay, so here are the bouillon cubes that I chopped up so it'll be easier to dissolve in water. And I'm going to place it inside the pot. I already got the pot started boiling. So I'm just going to add this into the water. And once it dissolves in the water, it will be like a beef broth. But if you want to go the cheaper route and less cleanup or whatever, you could definitely get the beef broth. But as you see, it's dissolving already. Okay, so now I'm going to add the beef stew meat, and you see these chunks are really big, so I am definitely going to chop these up after they cook. So you just place them in the water. I don't even think I need the other package. I might just use this one. Just like that. So let that cook down. Because once I cut them up, it's going to be a lot of meat. So now I'm going to add some minced garlic. Just a little bit. So I have this little teaspoon. I'm adding just this little bit amount. Place that in the water. And now I'm going to add some of the chopped green peppers. Not the whole bag, just some, as many as you like. I'm going to put half of the bag, and I'm going to use half of the bag tomorrow for the chili. And now I'm going to add the onion and celery mixture. And I absolutely love beef stew, especially on the colder nights. And my baby eats it, so that's a good thing because she is so picky. And I just like to put all different types of vegetables inside of my beef stew. So that's why I have so many different vegetables. I'm trying something new with the kale, but hopefully it tastes good. So I think I'm going to use all of this because I'm not going to use this for anything else and I don't want it to go to waste. So I use all of that. Okay, so now I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Just a couple of sprigs of that. Some Lawry's seasoning salt. Who doesn't use Lawry's? Some garlic salt. Some black pepper. Some granulated onion powder. And some granulated garlic. Okay, so I'm going to leave it uncovered and I'm just going to let it boil down until the meat is cooked, and we will come right back when the meat is done. Okay, so the pot is boiling right now and it's only been 10 minutes. The meat is almost done because, you know, once you put the vegetables and the tomatoes, it's going to cook some more, so you don't want it to be all the way done. And so now I'm going to try it with this beef stew mix. It says wait till the water boils. I never tried it with the beef stew mix, but we'll see how it comes out. So I'm going to add that in there. And mix it together. Make sure there's no clumps. See, look how big those pieces of meat are. Huge. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut those up. Okay, so I'm gonna let the meat simmer inside of this liquid just for about 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna take the meat out and I'm going to cut it up. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut these the stew meat into bite-sized cubes, and I'm gonna place them back into the pot. But as you see, it is pretty big. The chunks of meat are pretty big, so that's why I'm cutting them up, so it'll be more beef within the stew. I'm also going to add potatoes, even though I didn't show you guys that in the beginning, and the potatoes are to thicken up the sauce for the stew. So let me cut this up and cut the vegetables up, and then I'll show you how I add all of them together. Okay, you guys, so I chopped up the meat. I placed it back in the pot. So now I'm going to add the veggies. First, I have potato. I use like 4 medium-sized potatoes, and I put them in like chunk size, not too small, because if they get too small, they will get too soft real fast. So some big chunks of potato. now I have my kale right here. And I have my jalapeno right there. I took the seeds out and deveined it, and I just chopped up the jalapeno. And the cabbage. Make sure you separate the cabbage a little bit so it could get all into the stew all around. Let me stir that around real fast before I add anything else. Okay, so now we're going to add some petite dice tomatoes by Del Monte. And these are the petite diced. I'm going to use a whole can of that. And you can't forget the mixed vegetables. I'm going to use half of this bag. And I absolutely love corn, so I'm going to add a can of white corn with the juice. Let me stir that up. And now I'm going to add 2 cans of tomato sauce. And so last but not least, I'm going to add a couple of spoonfuls of tomato paste. If you guys know where to get the tube tomato paste, could you guys let me know? Because this is like a waste of money because you don't never use a whole can of tomato paste. I'd rather have the tube. I know Rachel Ray and them, they have a tube. Where can I find the tube? Okay, so I use half of the cans of tomato paste just to thicken it up. The tomato paste is to thicken it up as well as the potatoes. And just stir that around, let that break up. Okay, so now we're just going to let that simmer and let that get thick. So I'm going to cover it up and put it on medium heat. And we will come back with the finished stew. So this is how the stew looks so far. It will be done once the potatoes are soft. They're still kind of hard. And it is still thickening it up a little bit, but that's how it looks so far with the kale, the cabbage, the mixed vegetables, the celery, and the meat. So I will show you the finished product once the once the potatoes are soft. Okay guys, here is my finished meal. I took my cornbread out and it kind of broke on me, but it's edible. And that is how the stew looks. And just let it sit a little longer if you want it a little thicker than this. But I like mine kind of soupy. So, I'm about to get my grub on, y'all. Peace out. If you guys want to see some more recipes, then just let me know in the comment section. Bye, you guys.